All right, so today, guys, we are discussing the Bitcoin Blitz pre-launch strategy. We're going to be discussing how we can earn between 1 to 10 Bitcoins, in the next, in the next 12 months. And the reason is basically quite simple. As we've discussed, we know that in terms of the upside, Bitcoin is still going to go up a lot higher. Okay. We're going to touch on the reasons why and, briefly as we then go into how are we going to, build a business that can help us to earn, the amount of Bitcoin that we desire. Because really there is no limit to how much money one can make, right? It all depends on one's commitment, one's hunger, one's ability to learn and adapt, right? So there's this saying about emptying your cup. Doesn't matter what you know, doesn't matter what you've experienced, but right now it's about us coming together and emptying our cups and learning together and sprinting forward together. Okay. So now, there is something that we've been speaking about for a long time, and I want to, maybe for the benefit of those who've never heard it, or maybe even those of us who've heard it, hopefully today you're going to hear it in a different light, and it's going to leave a lasting impression in your soul. And that is, we are living in the most opportune time ever in the history of mankind, right? We're living in an opportunity whereby there is a wealth transfer. It's not coming, it's here. It's taking place every single day. Now, the only challenge with this particular wealth transfer is that the window is actually getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. In other words, it is an extremely time sensitive opportunity. If you look at all other wealth, life-changing opportunities in the past that have actually helped to change the course of humanity, that have helped to create wealth in this world, all of them, you'll find that they were happening in specific geographical locations, right? And even more so, you'll find that there was quite a lot of gatekeeping. Whenever when they discovered the steam engine, very few people were able to participate in that. The rest maybe could just participate by using the locomotives once they are built. Yes, it did enhance their lives because now they're able to transport goods and services from one position to the other. But the people who participated in actually building them, taking the risk, of building these particular locomotives, right? Those were the people who were able to create wealth. Okay. Now, after that, we discovered electricity. It was quickly monopolized. It became a government, entity that basically controls, how electricity is produced and so forth, right? And then if you look at even if you look at, in the gold rush, when they discovered gold in Johannesburg, who were the people who were able to participate meaningfully there, right? It's people who had the capital, people who had the means to travel from whatever country they were in to come into South Africa and to start digging for gold, right? When they discovered the diamond, in South Africa, in Kimberley, who were the people who participated in that wealth transfer, right? Right now, one of the richest families in Africa, in fact, in the world, became rich through that particular discovery of the diamond mines. Okay, so you can see that throughout the history of mankind, there's always been these new discoveries that has helped, transform the world going forward one way or the other, and on top of that, help to create wealth. Now, the recent one was actually in the dot-com era, right? Or the Web 2 era, when, people like Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook, a guy who invested $30,000 into Mark Zuckerberg's business. This guy did nothing, did not write any code, did not do any marketing. He did nothing for Facebook, but simply gave Mark Zuckerberg $30,000, which gave him 30% of the business. And because of that, this guy is now one of the richest people on the planet, right? And there's so many different people, right? If you look at your Bill Gates, Bill Gates said because of the world, where the world is going, computers are not just going to be in big government buildings or in big offices. It's actually going to be a personal computer. Every single home is going to have a computer, right? As a result, he built Microsoft. And because of that, he's now one of the richest people on the planet, right? So, I mean, you can go on and on. Even if you talk about Google, if you talk about Yahoo, you talk about, all these platforms, you talk about Zoom that we're using today, all of these platforms, right? It was people who identified a trend and positioned themselves on the right side of that particular trend, and they were able to make money, right? And you'll find that very few ordinary people were able to participate in this, because it's either you had the skill, it's either you had the money to invest, because even if you knew about Facebook, even if you knew that it was going to be a big thing, you could not have invested pre-IPO, because there was gatekeeping. What is the gatekeeping? You needed to be a sophisticated investor, right, for you to be able to participate, right? That means you need to have at least $250,000, unencumbered cash, or you needed to be, have a net worth of, I think it's $11 million, right? For you to be a sophisticated investor and be legally allowed to actually invest into the pre-IPO. Otherwise, you then need to just go and buy on the stock market like everybody else, right? But, who do you know that bought from the stock market that is a multi-billionaire today, right? So now, when it comes to crypto, and I want to narrow this down and not talk about crypto in general. I want to talk about Bitcoin, right? If you were to look at Bitcoin right now, there's no gatekeeping involved, right? You don't need to account to anyone. You could have just simply taken 1,000 Rand back in 2010 or wherever and bought Bitcoin and simply forgot about them. Right now, your life will be in a completely different space, right? So where we are today, Bitcoin is $100,000, right? And people are thinking, maybe we are late. We missed it when it was 9,000. We missed it when it was 50,000. We missed it when it was this much or this much, right? So let me tell you this, guys, what city this is, uncategorical, something like that, right? Let me tell you this, you are not late. Now, as I wrote on Facebook and I said today, I said the time it took for one Bitcoin to go from $1,000 to $100,000 was 7 years. But the time it's going to take from $100,000 all the way to $1 million, it's not going to be 7 years. It's going to be around 4 years or less. By the time we get to 2028 and we get to the second halving, either after the second halving or before the second halving, but definitely Bitcoin is going to be over $1 million, right? By the time we get to that particular season. So 2028 is a very strategic year, which is important for all of us to keep in mind, okay? So now the question is, are you ready for this wealth transfer that is about or is taking place and is actually about to intensify over the next few years? Okay? So if you're ready, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay. So when I talk about the amount of money or the amount of wealth that is basically coming into the crypto space, and here's the thing, guys, and I need you to understand this very, very well, right? So here's the thing. When you look at Bitcoin, let's talk about Bitcoin, for example, right? Right now, the market cap is around $2 trillion for Bitcoin, right? Now, what is it that's going to make Bitcoin to go from $2 trillion to $10 trillion, $20 trillion, $50 trillion, $100 trillion, right? What's going to make Bitcoin to do that? Is it simply because it's now time, or is it simply because it automatically it's going to happen? No. Money has to come somewhere. So whenever you're buying a token, right, and you are expecting it to do at 10,000, you need to look at the business case, okay? So right now with Bitcoin, money is going to come somewhere and it's going to come into Bitcoin. Now, something very interesting. There's so many different people I can quote. We won't have the time to go through all of that today. But CZ says something interesting. He says, if you look at it right now, governments around the world, they are going to actually print money, use that money to buy Bitcoins. Okay? So they're going to take the weaker currency and they're going to use it to buy the stronger currency, just like they were doing with gold, just like they were doing with oil, right? Now they're going to take that money and they're actually going to buy into Bitcoin. Now, if you look back over the last few cycles, in the last few cycles, every bull run and bear market, the major players was, a retail investor. So meaning people like you and me, okay? But right now, so that FOMO, when you talk about the fear of missing out, it's when people see Bitcoin going up and everybody start buying without maybe fully understanding what this thing is and right? And that's what, the term, fear of missing out basically came from. That FOMO was all retail FOMO. Right now, there is a new kind of FOMO. One, it's institutional FOMO, right? And number three, it is, nation states FOMO. Both these two people, right, or entities, they can create unlimited money, right? And with this money, they're actually going to use it to do what? To buy Bitcoins, okay? So I was even saying to someone yesterday, saying that even as far as mining Bitcoins, right? There will come a time whereby it's impossible for us as individuals to be able to mine Bitcoin. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I do honestly believe it's going to happen. Why? Because governments already have started competing amongst themselves about who is going to be a more dominant player when it comes to mining Bitcoins. Okay. So this number right here, it's actually wrong. It's $120 trillion, right? So all of this money, guys, is basically coming into crypto. So here's another example. This was done by Michael Saylor. So this is the amount of money in circulation, coins, notes, and so forth. These are bonds, right? That the government, issue out and so forth. This is real estate. This is equities, shares, right? Cars, collectibles, art, 18 trillion. Now, this is gold. Gold is sitting at 16 trillion. Now, the first target that Bitcoin is going for, look at where Bitcoin is, right? So obviously, this is an old number. It's now 2 trillion, right? Or almost 2 trillion. Okay. So you can see how small Bitcoin is there compared to these other assets. Do we think it's going to remain like this forever? No. In the next few years, Bitcoin is actually going to flip gold. It's going to flip all these other assets, right? And it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger because money, this 120 trillion in notes and coins. Think about it this way. If it's 120 trillion that's out there in circulation, how much of this is actually being lost due to inflation every single year? If you had, let's just say inflation is roughly sitting at a nice, average of 5%. So that means, we are what? Losing, $6 trillion, right? Every single year due to inflation. So this stands to reason why this money is going to flee into what? Into Bitcoin. Okay. So the question is, are we ready to fill in our bags, right? Because here's the thing, guys. The formula is basically very simple. We've got money that we know is sitting there, right? So we know that we've got this money that is coming, okay? It's not yet here. It's coming. Why is it taking long? It's because they need to change, in most places, they need to change laws. They need to change, company constitutions. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. That takes time for it to happen. Okay. Now, so that is the window we have, right? So whilst they're doing whatever they need to do in order for them to start and come to buy Bitcoins, we need to accumulate and fill our bags right now. So that when that money comes, that flood of money comes, right? It basically makes our Bitcoins to be worth a lot more, than what it was before, right? So we are sitting here with an opportunity whereby we can literally change our lives forever, right? For generations to come in this short time window, okay? I'm going to give you one silly example, right? It's not silly, but it's one silly. It's an example that shows you how powerful this is. So 2018. So 2018, I bought a house in PE for 3 million rands using Bitcoins. That entire transaction, if you look at everything around the transfer fees, you look at the furniture and everything, we possibly spent around 40 Bitcoins there. Okay? Roughly 40 Bitcoins. Now, 40 Bitcoins right now is roughly what? 70 million rands? Do you see where I'm going? That's the opportunity we have right now. Okay? That's the opportunity we have right now. It needs us to broaden our thinking and to enlarge our capacity a little bit, because that's the kind of money that is actually going to be made. Right now, Bitcoin is 1.8 million, and we know that this Bitcoin that's now 1.8 million, it's gonna be 18 million not so long ago, not so long from now, right? It's going to be 30 million. It's going to be 40 million. In fact, there will come a time whereby they just simply redenominate and measure the price in satoshis, because one Bitcoin is going to be ridiculously expensive. Okay, so the question is, how are we going to fill our bags? It's very simple, guys, right? Here is a formula, right? Very simple. One, we are going to utilize a product, right? A product that on its own, without us doing the other part, helps us to accumulate Bitcoins on a daily basis. That's one, okay? Secondly, we are going to build a business, right? And I'm going to tell you why this business is so simple, so easy, for us to do. As a result, in my view, it's a no-brainer, right? I don't think anyone on this call, should not make money in the next few months. Okay, so, and I'm not even gonna go into, a lot about this in terms of everything around it. What I will tell you is that this company is celebrating 3 years on the 14th of April next year. It's registered in El Salvador, licensed in El Salvador. They just recently opened a new mining farm in Texas. Why? Because Trump wants to make America great again, and Bitcoin is right at the center of that. Okay, so they've recently opened a new mining farm in Texas. Right now they've reached over $100 million in sales over the last 2 years. So that on its own, right? So I'm not gonna go into deep into that. We will have sessions about this. I'm just gonna play this video and then I'm gonna go into the second part very quickly. Okay, great stuff. So guys, okay, just 1 second. Okay, so that's an old video. That's a launch video, guys, right? So, but nothing has changed. We are still mining Bitcoins for 1,400 days. So we've got two things here. Let's talk really firstly about the product. So what is the product? The product is we are renting computing power, or what they call hash power. Okay, that's all we're doing. We are renting hash power for 4 years. In that 4 years, what are we getting, right? For providing, because we're literally providing hash power, into the company by renting hash power from them. So what does that mean? That simply means that we then start to collect small satoshis or satoshis every single day for the next 1,400 days, right? We get to share in the mining rewards. So the company is selling hash power, okay? The company does not have investors. The company has got clients. What are clients doing? They are buying hash power. Buying hash power from who? From iMine, okay? Now, as a result, they then get to share in the rewards that iMine is basically mining. That is a product. It's simple, right? It's not complicated. That's a product. And then secondly, then we've got the business. Okay, so the business is very simple. It's like if I recently had an issue, and I reached out to a friend, and the friend, said, "Okay, I actually spoke to so and so, has helped me with a similar situation. Let's go and meet this particular person." He phoned so and so, I've got a friend of mine here. He needs A, B, C, D, and E. Can we please meet? We meet. A transaction is concluded between myself and so and so. All right. Having been referred by a friend. Why? Friends refer or tell their friends or share with their friends what's working for them. Okay? Now, this guy is helping me. He's not even going to get a cent from this transaction that has been concluded between myself and this other gentleman. Right? And for him, he's happy that he has helped me as his friend. Okay? So now imagine we have something similar to that, but in this case, it's actually incentivized, whereby there is actually money to be made. When I refer a friend of mine to iMine and said, look, you think you're late about Bitcoin, actually you're not late. This is how I'm accumulating Bitcoin. Because, I think almost everyone who's heard about Bitcoin, right? So early this year, January, I created groups. I spoke on all groups on Facebook and WhatsApp saying, guys, let's buy Bitcoin, right? Let's buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Why? Because I see what is coming. And for me, it was coming from this position of we don't want all these Bitcoins to belong to institutions. Then the whole idea of why Bitcoin was created is actually going to be watered down a little bit, okay? So the whole idea of Bitcoin is that we as the people, as ordinary people, should be able to utilize this not only as a transactional mechanism, but as a way to create and transfer wealth, okay? So if we are holding Bitcoins and this institution come, obviously they're helping us to basically create wealth. So if we are going to let go and imagine that we are late and let this institution continue buying Bitcoins at $100,000, Michael Saylor says he will buy Bitcoin even at $1 million, right? So that is why for me, it's very personal. We need individuals, right, all over the world to accumulate Bitcoin, not to think that they are late, okay? Because, so anyway, I'm getting carried away, right? So the business, it's quite simple. It's me sharing with my friends that this is basically my strategy of how I am accumulating Bitcoins. Every single day, I earn small Satoshis based on the amount of hash power that I'm actually renting from these particular guys, right? And so far, I'm extremely happy, right? In terms of what I'm accumulating from this, right? So, and then me sharing this because the platform itself is a members only platform, meaning even if you hear the word and you go there and you click on, and you want to register, right? It's going to need you to have a person who's on the inside who refers you, because without that referral link, you are not able to create an account. It is a members only, platform. Okay. So now, so it stands to reason, therefore, that if I share with my friends, and whoever, the company that incentivizes me with a referral fee, which is common. You go and buy a car. I'm not sure if you guys do this. I do this all the time, especially if the service was great. So even if I go and I'm fixing whatever, and I found the service is great, I'm enjoying it. The question I ask next is, so if I bring your client, how much are you going to give me? Do you have a referral system? Right? You'll find that from insurance to car sellers to everyone has got some sort of a system whereby they incentivize word of mouth advertising, because it is one of the most powerful ways of basically growing a business. Right? Somebody even created a whole training for the real estate industry globally, because this guy became the number 1 in his company in real estate, simply focusing on creating referrals for himself. He would make sure that an average person will buy a home maybe once or twice in their lives, right? Now, how did he make sure that he actually gets, even though that person buys one home, but refers 10 other people who are actually going to buy a home from him, right? So you create a whole model and a whole system that people pay to come and learn. How do I create a word of mouth business in real estate? So this applies to every other business, okay? Now, here, this is incentivized, right? If you choose to do it, it's just for us who are having a business mind. We saw, okay, this thing can either be treated as an affiliate marketing, or you can actually build it and make it a network marketing business that then gives you massive leverage, and you're able to create teams all over the world, and you're able to earn money from different parts of the world, right? In other words, you can use this one platform to create MSI, multiple sources of income in just one platform, because you've got money coming from China, from different parts of the world. That's the power of the business model. So here we've got two different winning products, right? Or winning systems. One, the product itself, it helps you to earn Bitcoins while you sleep. On the other side, you've got the business, whereby there's no pressure. You're just simply sharing with your friends and family. It just then depends on how ambitious you are, okay? I don't want to tell only 10 people. I don't want to tell only 100 people. I don't want to tell only 1,000 people. I want to tell lots and lots of people. Why? Because I believe I've got a winning product. I believe I've got something that everybody, needs, even if they don't understand it yet, but everybody needs the product that I have, okay? So this then gives me the boldness to say, and this product is great. On the other hand, then I've got the business model that allows me to learn unlimited income, whereby I'm in business for myself, but I'm never working by myself. I've got very low to no overhead in building this particular business. If you've started any other business, then you realize that this is a no-brainer. That is why, for me, guys, I was not employed when I got into network marketing. I was running my own real estate business, but then I saw that the leverage that this presents is far greater than the leverage I got as a franchisee in a national chain that is selling properties. Okay? So here we've got a business that you can build from anywhere, right? You can use social media. You can build this business from South Africa, and you can have business partners all over the world, right? So these two are complementing each other, and this is really the formula that you need, to basically to be able to create wealth, right? So that's the product, and that is the business. Now we are going to do trainings whereby we talk more about the product, we talk more about the compensation plan. How is it really that we are getting paid in this business? Yes, there's a direct commission of 10%. Yes, there's a cycle bonus of $150. Yes, there's a matchup bonus of $10. Yes, there are bonuses when you reach certain ranks, right? But what are the different strategies that we can utilize to make sure that we maximize the compensation plan? That's something that we're actually going to trade on, right? So we're going to talk about that just now. And then when it comes to the strategy, right? So the strategy is quite simple, guys. Right now, 15th of December, remember what I said. In life, sometimes you're not going to get, the upper hand, okay? Sometimes you're not going to get the privilege. You need to create it yourself, right? You are not going to be given on a platter. No one is going to help you to increase the odds of you winning and reaching your dreams, right? You have got to take that responsibility upon yourself. That is why right now is the 15th of December. Everybody is partying, they're enjoying themselves. Nothing wrong with that, right? But what we are doing, we are utilizing this time to give ourselves a massive advantage. When people are scratching their heads in January, okay, so how am I going to make money? Where am I going to start? What am I going to build this year? And so forth. They come and find us showing them the direction, because we have already started, and they just come right when we are building momentum, into the future. Okay. So right now, today, we are basically launching the pre-launch. What is the pre-launch? The pre-launch is very simple. You need to build a team of between 10 to 20 people, right? Even more if you can. 10, 20 people. This is your inner circle. This is the core of the team. These are the people that you are going to build, this business with in the next, coming 90 days, right? So that is the inner circle. You're building the inner circle. Now, and the nice thing about the inner circle is that the wording itself, when you are when you are recruiting people, right? That's the word a lot of people are afraid of, right? So for me, I love this word, right? It's called recruiting. And I'm going to show you why just now. If only I can find what I want to show you. I want to show you something. Anyway, I can't find it, right? I've misplaced it. So what I wanted to show you is the fact that last year this time, or around about this time, actually by the time we were back, we went to Eric Worre's house. Okay, we went for the GoPro Recruiting Mastery. It's called the GoPro Recruiting Mastery. How much did we pay? $5,000 for that event. $5,000. Okay. Now, what did we go there to learn? How to become a master recruiter. Why? Because that is where 6, 7, 8 figures lie in this business. It's as simple as that. Anything that other people are running away from, saying that it's difficult or it's hard, that's the one you must actually run into. Because once you master it, then and the nice thing about network marketing is that it's proven. It's not something that we are trying to see if it's going to work. Maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not going to work. No, it's proven. We're talking about a $400 billion industry every single year. That's network marketing. We're talking about an industry that pays $200 million in commissions every single year. Sorry, every single day, right? So now, so in the inner circle, right, you are simply saying to people, look, this is what we are launching. The goal is to make between 1 to 10 Bitcoins in the next, in the next 90 days. I am now looking for people that I'm actually going to launch with, right? I don't want you to say, I did not tell you about this. Now I'm making all this money, yet I am your friend, right? Your posture is different when you are doing your pre-launch, right? It's very, very different. You're not begging, you are actually creating even a sense of FOMO, right? To say that with or without you, this is what I'm doing. I just wanted to inform you as a good friend, as a brother, as a sister, so that I don't leave you behind, right? Why? We have seen this movie before, we know how it ends, and therefore I don't want you to get left out, right? This 90-day game plan actually became known as a millionaire maker strategy. Why? So many millionaires were created through this particular strategy, not only in South Africa, not only in our team, but globally. Anyone who's in network marketing, they will tell you about the power of the 90-day game plan. Okay? So now, of course, we're going to do more training on this, but guys, you don't need a lot of training. You honestly don't need a lot of training. All you need is the willingness to work and the sense of agency. Everything else you can learn along the way. The nice thing about network marketing is that, it is so friendly that you can basically, earn whilst you learn. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still learning even today, right now, right? Even though I've been network marketing for more than 10 years, okay? So whether we're talking about the skills of finding prospects, inviting, this is something that you can learn, guys, over time. What is more important, though, is your mindset, right? Have you really, really decided that you are going to make 2025 your best year ever? Have you really, really decided? Because you need to take this time to decide, and in you deciding, you then need to inculcate belief in yourself. One of the things I wanted to do last Saturday, maybe we're going to do a training on this when we are doing the launch in January, because in January, on the 15th of January, is it 15th? I'm going to check the date. We'll actually announce it. We are actually going to do a launch of this 90-day game plan. Right now, it's pre-launch for the next 30 days, right? Including Christmas, including the 31st and the 1st, it's pre-launch, right? I don't know, but if I was a very social person going into whatever, I was going to be that person, who's going to annoy everyone, because it's all I'm going to talk about, right? If you're on my social media, that's all you're going to see, right? Because I am in my pre-launch right now, and it's the most important time of a 90-day game plan because it sets the foundation of your 90-day game plan. Okay, so you need to believe in yourself, your dreams, the industry, the product, and right. So we're not gonna go very much deep into that. These are some of the stuff that we're gonna teach about. But one thing that I do want to tell you is that there is money to be made. And we have planned this 90 days that it coincides with us going into Dubai on the 14th of April, on the company's 30th anniversary. Okay. I did get an invite this year in April. I was doing something else. So guys, I don't want to go alone. I want to go with at least 30 to 40 people, in this particular event. The more, the merrier. And then we are going to do the gala dinner when we come back, meaning at the end of April, then we are going to do the gala dinner, right? This anniversary is going to be the biggest. Why? So much has happened. The company has mined way over 1,000 Bitcoins. The company, we've got a distributor that has reached the highest rank in the business and himself a cool bonus of $175,000, right? So it's going to be big. There's so many people who have reached even the second highest rank, called the vice president, that are going to be awarded and recognized in this particular event. So it's going to be a big one. And I want us to go and add color. If you look at the pictures of the last ones, you'll see that it's all Asians, right? I know that in this particular one, there will be people coming from South America and different parts, South America, Asia, and we want to bring Africa into the event. Okay. So right now, if you are maybe, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So right now, if you are maybe, I don't know, excited, confused, whatever the case is, and you want to know where you're going to start, how do you make sure? Here's something very important, guys, that I forgot to mention, and that is the compensation plan. If you've done network marketing, you're going to understand exactly what I'm saying. The compensation plan uses a binary system. Guys, excuse me, let me just take maybe 1 second, just for the sake of people who might maybe not understand. I'm going to show you this just now. One of the major things within a 90-day game plan that actually makes it easy or simpler for people to make money is actually what I'm going to show you now. Okay. So when we talk about the binary system, this is what we're talking about. Okay. So this is you. Okay. Now, obviously, when you join, there will be people who would have joined, before you, right? So there will be someone here, my Troy, right? And there will be someone there. So this is a binary tree, right? It's got a left leg and it's got a right leg. Okay. Now, right now, there is people who've got what we call a spillover. Okay. So this is you, right? So positioning is super important in a 90-day game plan, right? So because this means that when you sign up, so let's say this is you, right? And you sign up and maybe you're still thinking, oh, where am I going to start? Who am I going to tell? This particular guy or people above him have already started with their pre-launch. They only got 2 legs to place people. It's either left or right. That's all. So if these people are placing people on the left, guess what happens? The person will actually come and be placed under you here, right? You don't know this person, right? And if this person buys the last package, which is $10,500, which is 21 credits, you are going to get 21 credits from a person that you don't even know. So that 21 credits will basically sit here, okay? So for you to earn, and I'm not teaching compensation plan right now, but I'm just teaching a strategy for you to earn a cycle bonus, right? So a cycle bonus here is $150. $150. That's a cycle bonus. How do you earn this? You need to have 5 credits left and you need to have 5 credits right. Okay. So if it's $150, so we can simply assume that so $75 is basically coming this from that side, and another $75 is coming from this side. So what this simply means is that when you are building, when you decide to build a business and there are spillovers, this means that you will constantly, especially when there's momentum, you will constantly be working only to build 75 to earn $75 from your own work, and the other $75 to make the full 150 is basically somebody making you that money. Have you ever had people say network marketing is push push? If somebody you don't know is actually going to make you $75, what is that? It's a pull. Okay, this is all, and you basically find that you have got a spillovers. Lots of people have actually come through here. Let's just say you've got 100 credits, right? So 100 credits, if you get another 100 credits this side, what does that mean? So that simply means that if we take 100 and we divide by 5, that's 20 cycles, right? Multiply by 150, that's $3,000, right? So if you find yourself that you've got 100 credits, it simply means that somebody has put aside $1,500. It's waiting for you to come and unlock on this other side. Okay, so the reason why I was showing you this is to simply say to you, you need to position yourself so that when you start building, of which I believe that starting building should actually be tonight. Okay, so when you start building, you know that you are building on top of something because you've already got the spillover that you are basically building or on top of, right? Making it easier and simpler for you to basically make money. Okay, so are there any questions, guys? So the minimum, the smallest package you can get for you to position yourself is $250. That's like 5,000 rands. So imagine starting a business, because even though that's a product that you're buying, but think of it this way, it's like you're starting a business with only 5,000 rands. Yeah, that 5,000, even if you don't do the business, even if you fail, right, that 5,000 rand is going to do its own thing because you actually rented computing power, remember? And that computing power is going to generate for you Bitcoins over time. Okay, so that's that's the model, guys. Only 5,000 rand gets you in. Of course, the higher the more hash power you buy, the better for you. But what is extremely important is for you to position yourself so that when the momentum starts to kick in, you are basically benefiting from all that that was there. We've got people here, guys, who've done network, who've done successfully, very, very successfully, numerous 90-day game plans and so forth. So maybe even before we close, I'm gonna call upon. Can I pick on someone? I want to pick on someone. I'm gonna pick on someone. I'm gonna pick on someone. I'm gonna pick on someone. Mr. Dube, are you here? I hope you're in a position to speak. My good sir. Is die early man hierso? Hey, kom nyama leadership. So maybe before we close, my brother, okay, so I want you to maybe just share with us your experience in 90-day game plan. This thing we are talking about, is it real? Have people really made money with this 90-day game plan? And what's your experience been like? Before we so guys, before you leave, just understand that from tomorrow, we are doing presentations about the product and the compensation plan every single day up until Christmas. If somebody wants me to do a presentation in Christmas, I will do it. Okay. Yes, sir.
Leadership, it's very dark where I am, right? And I'm in the bushes somewhere here. Yeah, but it's fine. I think I can share a little bit of a story about myself. So, I think it's the 90-day game plan. It's a very crucial phase, especially for someone who would want to see things changing around. Because personally, I got started obviously with the space in 2019. Yeah, 2019. That's when I got fully sold out to network marketing because I had always thought it's for those people, it's for other people and educated people. That's how I used to think at the time, before I knew really what network marketing is about and how it works and what kind of people are involved. Until I got invited to a gala dinner that was in PE. Yes, yeah, I got invited to a gala dinner in PE. That's where everything changed. The whole perspective changed from that gala dinner because I saw the caliber of people who were there. What people like, people sharing their stories, how they got started, and where they are in life. And I was like, no, man, I've always looked at this thing with a very wrong eye because this is a real business. Then I invested so much time into understanding what network marketing is, how it works, and all those things. Like, I started network marketing as if I was going to write an exam. That's when I got convicted that, okay, this is indeed a business. It's a real business. And to an extent that at this point in time where I am, I would like to believe that I think there's no business, there's no real straight, legit business out there which can give a person real wealth, you know, I mean, without one having to be corrupt, without one having to do some things that are not, in human stuff. I'd like to believe it's one business that can take someone from the lows, the highs, without having to compromise in their life or even sell their souls and all that. It's a business. So I got really started and I never looked back. I know when I started, I didn't understand, but I studied it. I would recommend that anyone who wants to do network marketing full time, maybe they commit to studying it, to understanding how much of a business it is and what it would take. Because some people, they just take chances, to be honest. And most people who take chances, they normally don't go far with network marketing. you know. So I think it would work good for people to invest into learning and understanding what it is and what really it takes from one to make it in network marketing. Because fast forward 2020, our first 90-day game plan obviously was in beginning of 2020. We were going into lockdown, and that was our first 90-day game plan. Oh, there was another one before that. I didn't understand what was happening, but I was now sold, you know. Then the first one, 2020, I went fully in, started, I didn't obviously personally utilize the pre-launch. I know at that time, I didn't utilize the pre-launch phase of the first month. So I started really and recruiting and enrolling more people during the 90-day game plan, of which, yes, I did make money, which I had never made from my job. I'd never earned anything more than like 50,000. And during that first 90-day game plan, I know I made I think more than 150,000 or so. And that was money to me. COVID immediately kicked in and we started our second 90-day game plan online, launched it, pushed it. Then that's where everything started, flying. Like, never made money like I did make money that time. When people were closing businesses down during COVID time, we made the most money. I personally made the most money because I remember there is a month where I like made 1.3 million rand. I'm like, yeah, is it even possible? then, then I saw, as I continued studying, I saw that no, man, this business it's unlimited earning potential here. It just depends on what you do about it. But if the business is there and one just needs to do something about it, then otherwise, leadership, all I can say, it's a business, but it needs commitment, like any other business. The problem with most people, they come here and want to take chances. It's not a manga business. One needs to commit into working it out.
True.
Otherwise, obviously, when you start and you are building, it's like you are playing, it doesn't work. People are lying until it starts kicking in. You know, I remember one of our leaders used to say, with network marketing, you work, get paid. Work, get paid. Then when tables change, you get paid, work. And I really witnessed that. I saw it happening. So I know it's possible, but people don't believe these things until it starts happening. I never believed it. And I would say to someone, maybe the sooner you believe it, it's gonna help you. Because it took me too long to believe that it's possible.
Awesome. Now that is a
But
very
now I know, even if now I know, even if I don't even have 100 rand in my pocket, wherever I will be, I know that I'm in a seriously blessed, godly business. Things turn around any minute.
nice.
So I think that's what I can share for now. It's also considering the space where I am.
Awesome.
I thought I'll be home by now, but yeah.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, my leader. Thank you for chipping in. So guys, it's quite simple, right? It's quite simple. Right now, we're talking about accumulating Bitcoins. Mr. Dube said something very powerful. He spoke about the word belief. If you saw on the slides, on the very last one, belief is actually there, because this thing will not happen if you don't believe it. You are going to watch us do it, right? You're going to watch us do it. And maybe for the sake of everyone who's on this call, I want you to understand that we everyone who's on this call, I'm sure they consider themselves as starting from scratch in terms of building this particular business, right? So no one has got an advantage as such, but what is actually going to be a change maker, is going to make the difference, is, Holtenbach says something interesting. He says, people ask him, this guy's made over hundreds of millions of dollars in network marketing. And people ask him, knowing what you know right now, and you were to go back, into, starting a network marketing journey, what would you do differently? You know what he said? He said, I would believe bigger much sooner. Because, the more he believed, is the more his income actually grew, right? Because everything is spiritual, guys, right? So, everything is spiritual. So that's why I said you need to work on your belief in yourself, your belief in the business, your belief in the product, your belief in the industry. And then you are going to be unstoppable, literally unstoppable, right? So do go back to the person who invited you to the call. They will help you to get started, show you how you can position yourself. Remember the timing issue. Remember, it's a binary system. You need to position yourself, and then we're going to take it from there. Now, we are starting tomorrow, our very first presentation. We're going to start at 8 o'clock. We're going to have a presentation every single day at 8 o'clock. People that cannot make it at 8 o'clock, you want, maybe your group, whatever, you need a presentation during the day, just talk to us, maybe an hour or two in advance, so that we can arrange. Because, for me, I'm sure for other people here as well, it's all about creating momentum now. By the time next year start, we want to hit the ground running. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a blessed evening further. And great stuff. Guys, I wanna see who's gonna make their first, second, or third million. That's the motivation right now. We wanna see who's gonna make their first, second, or third million. And let's see. Let's see. All we need. The experience is there, right? The experience is there. The understanding is there. All we need is your willingness and your belief and your teachable spirit. And we're gonna make it together. So with that being said, thanks so much, and have yourself a great evening. God bless. Get the link from the person who invited you, and position yourself, and let's all reach for the top, for the bottom is overcrowded. Cheers.